So 25 February 2022, having some ridiculously warm weather, and my single hive, I'm just kind of concerned that maybe it'll start to swarm because they're really bearding and a lot of traffic in and out. So I opened up a couple days ago, but I was kind of worried about the brood needed to be top and bottom brood chambers being swapped around, but that looked okay. But I'm just going to give them something to do today so they don't start thinking about swarming. I'm going to add a super to it to bring in a lot of nectar and pollen, add some beetle traps, and maybe replace some frames. I have some older built up frames that are just kind of dirty. What are you doing, spider, trying to eat my bees? So if I have any completely empty frames, maybe I'll put some older ones with, I mean, they're kind of trashy looking. Boy, a lot going on in that inner cover. I did put one frame in here that was pretty nasty. It was had mold. It was in the bottom box. Just see if they'd do a good job cleaning it up. So there are some frames on the end here that I think I will replace. Instead of I don't want to really checkerboard them because then, you know, we still may have a couple cold nights coming in, and I don't want the brood to get cold or anything. So instead of taking some brood from where they're at and moving them, I'll just take some built-up frames, some previous failures of mine, and put them in there. Oh, these things are stuck. It's coming. Ugh. Did a good job of that. So anyway, that's one that I'm going to replace. And two. And like I said, that'll give them something to do. They'll be able to clean up some older frames, some older comb, and it'll give the queen a place to lay. So there's a lot of unused territory up here. But I'm glad to see no hive beetles. I know sometimes pretty early in Louisiana they get that. A lot of brood in here. Little queen cups on the bottom. I don't think that's a good idea. Awful big looking. I hope they're not drone brood, but pretty freshly laid. So the queen's been upstairs. Oh, this is heavy. Okay, beautiful looking brood up here. And lots of honey. That is a good looking frame right there. And I do plan on splitting this about 3 weeks or so. Whoa! A lot of drone brood on the bottom, but what a beautiful frame. Queen cells. Kind of looks like a queen cell there. So I want to get rid of all this mess here. And I will clean it up later. But I will put this all back in the queen cup. See this beautiful brood. It's about 75 today, so beautiful weather, no rain, so I'm not really concerned about chilling them out or anything. A lot of good nectar in that one. Whole frame is full of nectar. So a lot of activity in this upper box. And some, let's say, half-hearted attempts at some queen cells. Some pollen stored in there. Oh, I hate it when they build stuff like that. Alright. So this one's going to go back in with a couple of used comb. So hopefully they can clean up and decide they don't need to swarm since they got so much real estate. Next week maybe some upper 40s as a low. So I'm still going to keep them all together. I don't want to really checkerboard them. There's some potentially colder weather coming up and have the brood be cold. So. See, I'm talking about ugly here. This is some old comb. I hate to put it in there, but just to see what they can do. Hopefully it doesn't hurt them. Hopefully they'll be able to clean it up and reuse it. Another beat up old frame. See what the crew can do. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I put one like that down in the bottom box, so we'll see how that turned out. Sticky, sticky, sticky stuff. Okay, so and I'll put a super on top just for. I hate to give them too much real estate, especially with hive beetles, but it really seemed to be moving a lot of nectar. Alright, so the frame I replaced is this one here. Let's see what they did. It's been a few days. Were they able to clean it up? Are they using it? First hive I put together, I didn't use nails in all the frames. The glue would be enough, and it wasn't. So this is the nasty old frame. Look what they did to that. It's completely clean and full of nectar. So that was one of those nasty, moldy old frames. So busy as bees. They got it all cleaned up. Whoa. I don't see any brood in it. Pollen. A lot of bees, a lot of nectar. Here's another one of these. They're completely empty. So I'm going to place that with something a little bit nicer for them. Let them work on that. A lot of nectar. Pollen everywhere. Packing in the pollen. Hey, drone brood. Lots of nasty drone brood. There's some good looking brood there. What's in there? Yeah, some spotty brood. Some larvae. Looking pretty good. There's a bee with pollen in it there. Looking for a place to stash it, I guess. Heavy. All right, oh, beautiful sheet of brood there. That's what I want to see. Especially going to do a split. Look at that. That is some heavy duty brood. Some queen cups down there. I'll go ahead and cut those off. I'm going to clean that mess up in a little bit. Come this far, might as well go on. 3 more frames. Beautiful. Look at that brood. Pollen and some good brood. They don't like it to scrape when you scrape their burr comb off. They think it's beautiful. Woof. That is a busy bit of bees right there. That looks good. So those are the type of frames I'm going to steal when I split. Feels light, and it is. They don't like doing much with the outer shells, but look at all that pollen in there. That's like a whole frame of pollen. All right, I'm done with you bees. I'm putting you back, except for I'm gonna add a super with built-up wax or built-up comb and some hive beetle traps, and to put those in there. And I'm gonna replace some of those empty frames with some older comb so they can refurbish like they did that bottom one there. Alright guys, gals I should say, back you go. Alright, put the hive together and call it quits.